Lalita and the awakening of her heart. In a small, quiet village where life flowed as predictably as the river nearby, there lived a girl named Lalita. Lalita was different from the others in her village. While the children laughed and cried and felt every emotion as freely as the wind, Lalita felt nothing. When others marveled at the colors of the sunrise, Lalita saw only light. When they wept at a moving story, Lalita listened but didn't understand. Her face was calm, her heart steady, and her world muted. She didn't know why she felt this way. She only knew it made her feel distant, like a shadow standing on the edge of life. One crisp autumn morning, Lalita walked through the woods behind her house, her favorite place for solitude. The trees were alive with color, their leaves blazing gold and crimson. She didn't notice. She wandered farther than she ever had before, drawn by a strange feeling, something unnameable tugging at her chest. As she stepped into a hidden clearing, her eyes fell on something extraordinary, a small, glowing orb hovering just above the ground. It pulsed softly, like a heartbeat, and as Lalita approached, it seemed to call to her. Curious, she reached out. The moment her fingers touched the orb, a wave of warmth surged through her. Her chest tightened, her hands trembled, and suddenly, something inside her burst open. Lalita gasped. Her heart pounded in her chest, her throat ached, and her vision blurred with tears she had never shed before. "What is this?" she whispered, clutching her chest. For the first time in her life, she felt something, a rush of emotions, so powerful and overwhelming it left her breathless. Over the days that followed, Lalita's life changed in ways she couldn't have imagined. Emotions flooded her, one after another, each more intense than the last. One moment, she would feel joy so sharp it made her laugh aloud, like when she saw the sunlight dancing on the river. The next moment, fear would grip her, cold and paralyzing. When she thought about speaking to the villagers, doubt whispered cruelly in her mind, telling her she didn't belong. Anger burned hot in her chest when she remembered how often she had felt ignored. And sadness, deep, aching sadness, would wash over her like rain, leaving her sobbing alone in her room, unsure of why she cried. It was terrifying. How do people live like this? She wondered. How do they carry all these feelings? Lalita began avoiding the villagers, afraid they would see her confusion, her vulnerability. But one evening, as she sat quietly by the river, she heard footsteps behind her. It was her neighbor, Amma, an older woman known for her wisdom and kindness. "You've been quiet lately," Amma said, sitting beside her. "What troubles you, child?" Lalita hesitated, but then the words spilled out. "I don't understand what's happening to me. I've started feeling everything. Fear, sadness, anger. It's so much, Amma. I don't know how to handle it." Amma listened carefully, then placed a gentle hand on Lalita's. Emotions can be frightening, especially when they come all at once. But they are not your enemy. They are a part of you, a way for your heart to speak. Lalita frowned. "That they hurt?" "Yes," Amma said softly. "They can hurt, but they also heal. Every feeling you have is telling you something important. When you are sad, it means you've lost something you care about. When you are afraid, it means you need protection. When you are angry, it means something isn't right. And when you are joyful, it means you've found something that lights up your soul." Lalita sat quietly, Amma's words settling in her mind like seeds waiting to grow. From that day on, Lalita began to face her emotions instead of running from them. When sadness came, she let herself cry, understanding that tears were a way to release the weight in her heart. When fear whispered in her mind, she took deep breaths and reminded herself that she was stronger than it seemed. When anger flared, she channeled it into action, speaking up when something felt unfair. And when joy appeared, even in small moments, a warm breeze, a kind smile, the taste of ripe fruit, she embraced it fully, letting it fill her heart. It wasn't easy. Some days, the emotions felt like a storm she couldn't control. But over time, she began to see them not as something to fear, but as a guide, a map of her heart, showing her what mattered most. Months later, Lalita stood at the edge of the same clearing where she had found the glowing orb. The world around her seemed different now. The colors of the trees were richer, the sound of the birds sweeter, the air warmer against her skin. She placed a hand over her heart and smiled. "I thought emotions would break me," she whispered, "but they've made me whole." Lalita returned to the village with a new sense of purpose. She shared her story with others, helping those who struggled with their own feelings. She became a source of comfort and strength, a reminder that emotions, even the hard ones, were not something to fear, but a gift that made life vivid and meaningful. And so, Lalita's once muted world became a canvas painted with the full spectrum of human emotion, a masterpiece of joy, sorrow, love, and courage. Good night, and may you always find strength in the storms of your heart.